and welcome to Mirador Television. We are the biggest little TV in the world, based in Lewes, East Sussex in England. Our aim is to entertain and to spice things up a little. We will also keep an eye on the local politics, because let's face it, someone has to. Our programs range from stories about the local people to stories about people from all the way across the pond. Brought to you by our wonderful colleagues in New York. So why not sit back, relax with your favourite cuppa, or maybe your favourite tipple, and enjoy. This is Mirador Television.
Well, good afternoon, and here's a little innovation. We're going to try and bring you at least two bulletins today. We'll stay with the morning one, which is an hour long, plus the half-hour radio that we do now. This one will be a little shorter, and will be dependent upon what's happening during the day. But here are the news headlines, is that a Black Lives Matter activist was shot in the head. And I suppose it only took a matter of time before we would see that sort of war break out. It evokes passions on both sides. And the trouble is that those passions tip over into illegal activity, to criminal activity. The BBC is to review editorial policies and the Bashir hirings. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, wow, isn't that a surprise? And I hope that it's a thorough review and not one of these whitewash things that they've been so used to. Shopper numbers are still 30% lower than before COVID. People aren't rushing out to the shops, as was predicted. So there's a chance and a change to what's going on in as opposed to what we thought would go on. And Mary Queen of Scots beads, some very valuable beads which she wore, have been stolen in a raid on the castle that we were in. Liberty Steel is to sell its Stocksbridge plant to pay the debt. Whether that means that jobs were lost or gained or whatever at this particular moment isn't obvious. We'll have to wait to see what the effect that's going to have. And of course, those things always have ripple effects across the country. I think that's basically most of the stuff that is surfaced at lunchtime. It's not a particularly busy news day as such. It's the old usual things. So what we thought we would do is we would take time to look at a few things that we do. And first of all, we this morning we said that we would show Susan Harris's look at Lewes. She takes some very fine photographs first thing in the morning, and we like to focus them and highlight them and showcase them on Mirador Television. So here is her latest batch. Ah, there you are, those lovely images. And by the way, this banner seen in Sussex with Keith Hayes made it look as if they were my photographs. Not at all. That is a regular feature that Susan Harris, who lives here in Lewes, brings to Mirador Television on a regular basis. And she gets the places. I've been here for 20 years, 20 years plus. And for the life of me, I haven't seen half those places. And she gets into all sorts of little nooks and crannies and takes some wonderful photographs to keep us all abreast. So we'll play those all week, each day, so that you all get a chance to take a look at them. Right. The next thing I think that we want to do is to say congratulations to our colleague Stephen Catlin, who became mayor about 10 days ago. And Stephen set out his stall, as a mayor does, set out his stall to say, this is what I'm going to do over my 12 months of being mayor. And I think that he made a very good job of it. And I think that he's got some very high principles. So I thought we should actually bring back Stephen this afternoon, just so that he can tell everybody once again what he sees happening while he's mayor.
But as you can see, I'm not Henry Hall, but it doesn't sound as pompous as saying, hello, this is the Mayor of Lewes for the next municipal year. So let's just pretend all I've said is, good morning, everyone, and I hope you're well. What I thought I'd start by doing is let you know what I said when they declared that I was the Mayor of Lewes, because we are living in interesting times, as well you know, and I thought you might just give me a little indulgence and let me say this, which is what I said last Wednesday to the council. We are entering a very exciting stage for the town council. As we exit lockdown, it is important that this council re-engages with the town of Lewes, not just those sections which reflect our own individual pet projects, but the whole town. And I look forward to the council's achieving this with the participation of all members. There has been much talk of a memorial to those lost to the town through COVID-19, and it could be that there is no better place than the newly laid out Peace Garden up at the Magic Circle. I would like this to be a project for the year, with fundraising as necessary. We must also engage with the new young voters in the town to show all generations that this council has relevance to what is done here. Just nipping back to the Peace Garden project, District Council have been in touch with me, and it looks like we may be able to work together on achieving this as the memorial site for victims of COVID-19. My charities for the year are Sussex Search and Rescue, very important, and also to reconnect with the youth of Lewes, the Lewes Youth Band, and I'm giving them free use of the town hall for a concert later in the year. I hope that there will be a mayoral civic reception in September, with the former mayor, John Lang, being present also to finally be able to award the medals to the civic volunteers who gained them. I think that's good. One of the future aims, also set out during the Open Council Working Party, was to establish a Lewes Arts Council, and I hope this year will see its establishment. The arts are a vibrant part of life in the community of the town, and the council must do all it can to see the arts reawaken from their long slumber after breakdown. I hope we will also see the introduction of the innovative participatory budgeting, which will give those in the town a say in where some of their money on certain projects can be spent. That's the idea. people have offered congratulations already, and I've said I think they're probably best at the end of what may be a successful year. We'll see how it goes and play carefully. But before I go for today, I want to tell you of a bit of a gavout we've been having with the bright lights at night along by the railway station. You may not know, but you certainly will now, that Station Road in Lewes is owned by the railway. It is not a county highway. And when blockades first started about 2 years ago, they erected a row of street lamps because there hadn't been any there before. Sadly, these street lamps burn brightly all through the night in complete defiance of the South Downs National Park dark skies policy. Prompted by a couple of residents and more in the town, I have been on to the railway about it. After about 2 months, writing as 'twere to Father Christmas, I'm beginning to get somewhere. There will be an article in the Sussex Express tomorrow, but I can tell you we are beginning to see progress, and they may at last put sensors in those lights so that they dim right down and only come up bright when someone goes by, thus helping the national park to achieve its dark skies policy. It's all worth seeing what members of even the merest parish come town council can achieve if you keep in touch with them. I'll chat soon and look forward to you seeing me, seeing you. Bye for now.
Oh, there's Stephen Catlin setting out his stall for his year as mayor. And I'm a great fan of Stephen's, and I intend that Mirador, and I personally will put as much effort behind him to support what he wants to do as possible, because to me it makes a lot of sense. And particularly with the sort of statistics such as, shoppers are down, violence is up. We have no idea what sort of world we're going to meet once COVID is behind us and we are totally out of lockdown. I suspect it is not going to be a world that we recognize, and that we are going to need all the efforts that we can. And if Stephen's prepared to make that sort of effort, I'm behind him. I'm quite willing to support him. Right, okay, let's just look at one of the things that we were going to play this morning and didn't. So I think we'll do it now, because it's going back about 4 years to Lewes Airport. You didn't know Lewes has got an airport? I'm not a bit surprised. It's not a big one, but nonetheless it exists. And 3 to 4 years ago, it had a very special guest. So let's just go over to Lewes Airport and see what that was all about. Well, I have no idea what happened there. Suddenly, a great big story, which was not a news story, but one of these Hello magazine type things about Kate and William flashed across the screen and pushed everything off. Uh, I'm quite sure there's an explanation for it. I don't know what it is. So please forgive us for interrupting our program. And I'm sure that you didn't actually. Everything is gone. Everything gets wiped when they do that. We have more bad luck with this station, with these systems. And I suppose really it is time we are getting an expert in to review whether we've got the right systems for us. Because we do have an inordinate amount of bad luck. I've always put it down to the fact that I'm just ham-handed. It's me that is getting things all screwed up. So forgive me for that. We had got another couple of items that we were going to show you this afternoon, but I can't now because they've been taken away from the system. Or can I? I don't think so. I think that we're stuck. Well, let's see if this will pick up. To help you catch up. This was Swanborough at Lewis Airport, just outside Swanborough, half a mile or so. And 4 years ago, I think 5 years ago, they held a big for the people, which they do as a very responsible organization. The local village. to apologise for any noise the airplane makes on their and they made it a very special occasion. And it is.
Actually, in our flight guide, we show 650 meters, but there's a 235 meter overrun, so we're up to nearly 850 or so meters. We only permit single-engine aircraft. We don't allow helicopters to come in, and we don't allow twins to come in. And that's largely from a noise point of view. We're very conscious that we don't want to annoy our neighbours in the local villages, the three villages that are sort of up at the western end of the airfield, as it were. There's nothing down at the eastern end, but Swammer village, Iford village, and Rodmell, and Kingston to a certain extent. We want to do that.
What are the restrictions? I mean, presumably you don't have night flying.
We don't have night flying. We don't have teaching. We don't have any flying for monetary gain or reward. So we did it 2 years ago. You can ask several times in one of the villages, when are you going to have another open day? Unfortunately, we've picked a day which is not very clement in terms of the weather. But But out of that, we like to think that we strengthened the relationship with the villages because we took, ultimately we took children flying and doctors flying and village people, so quite a few of them have had flights with us from time to time. And we think that's important because we like to think that the airstrip and the Aero Club is an integral part of the community.
Oh, there we are. That was a visit of a very famous, or the sister of a very famous aeroplane. And if it comes again, I hope it will be alerted and we'll let you know because it's worthwhile going down to take a look at it. Flying in immaculate condition. And its sister airplane flew to Australia with the first woman to ever do that sort of journey. Fantastic. Amy Johnson, by the way, was lost during the war. She was, I think, ferrying some aircraft, and up she took and was never heard from again. And we assume that the enemy got her, and down she went. Although she was not a particularly good pilot, apparently. It is said by some scribes in Eastbourne who saw her. She toured this part of the world and came to. I don't know whether she came to Lewis after she came back from Australia, but she certainly went to Eastbourne. And apparently it took her four goes at landing on a strip, just at Hampden Park, I think it was. And she had to have 4 goes to get down. Mind you, the weather couldn't have been bad. I have to say that in decent weather, I'm not a bad pilot. In rough weather, I'm glad I've got one with me. When you come into land, and first of all, you have to go like that and press against the wind just before you flop it down. But as you also come in, if there's a gust and it goes like that, you have to do some rapid work. And I was never very good at the rapid work. I was always grateful that there was someone with me. But it was that sort of a day that Amy can understand that she had some problems getting down. But when you're up there, it's always on your mind. I've got to get back down there, and I want to get down there whole and alive. Anyway, that is just a half-hour little program that we just decided to throw together. Now we'll start to take much more time about it, and hopefully, I always I'm on the lookout to try and help young people or any people, it doesn't matter, to become broadcasters and to do the job properly. And perhaps we might find some youngster who's full of pea and vinegar and who would like to take over this afternoon slot and produce it, because that would be a great learning experience and something indeed which he could have on his CV. So there you go. There's an offer. So I think that's it for today. Simply because we lost, because how on earth it happened is the royal family stalked onto our screens and knocked us off. Anyway, Mirador Television is who you're watching. It's always a bit ham-handed. It's always a bit of fun. It's always a bit different. So I would say to you, for Toodlepip. And just so that those people who don't know who we are, I like to play this because it gives you some idea of what Lewis is about, where we're from, and what we are. So until tomorrow morning at 7:30 with our radio show, and then at 8 o'clock back with television, Toodlepip. Well, that's it for today. Toodlepip.